A toxic haze engulfs the national capital region once again. It's the onset of winters. This year, Diwali festivities haven't really begun, and we are seeing unprecedented pollution levels here in the national capital region. If you talk about the measures that have been taken to tackle the problem, to combat the problem of air pollution, one wonders what are the steps that have been taken. There was a crucial hearing that happened at the Supreme Court today. The Supreme Court once again reminded the state of Punjab, Haryana and Delhi that stubble burning via the orders of the Supreme Court and the subsequent executive orders is banned. And the governments must take proper action to ensure that stubble burning is brought under check. The SHO of the local thanas along with the chief secretaries of the states have been made accountable to the apex court of the country. That being said, is it really enough what the Supreme Court has done? Who exactly is to blame when we talk about the pollution crisis, the air pollution crisis, especially in the heart of the capital, in the national capital region? Going back in time since 2015, if you look at a series of orders that have come in from the Supreme Court, from the National Green Tribunal, you would see various efforts that have been taken by the judiciary, including the apex court, when it comes to tackling this pollution crisis. Well, the state government of Delhi, Punjab and Haryana were not really forthcoming to sit on the table and come up with a policy solution. It was on the nudge of the Supreme Court of India that EPCA, Environment Protection Control Authority, was revived. It was recomposed. Once again, a fresh composition was sought in, experts were brought in, and a series of measures were brought in. What you call the Graded Response Action Plan, or the GRAP measures that are in force in Delhi right now, is thanks to the orders of the Supreme Court of India. Multiple steps were taken. Going back in time, the ban on the entry of trucks, ban on construction, various measures that were suggested by the expert bodies that were consulted by the Supreme Court of India. Who can forget the petition at the Supreme Court when 3 toddlers had to move the Supreme Court of India and seek their right to breathe and their right to life. That's how we have a firecracker ban in the national capital, also in other parts of the country. Whenever the pollution levels cross a certain threshold, there is a response action plan that has been devised by the various state governments, including the government of Rajasthan, Haryana, Punjab and Uttar Pradesh, and all of them have to comply. It was at the nudge of the judiciary that the bureaucratic machinery, the executive bodies sat on the same table and devised this mechanism. But the judiciary can only do so much. The implementation of the orders and ensuring that they are implemented in the right spirit and measure is the task of the executive and the officers on the ground. The Supreme Court at best can call for accountability, but this is political accountability that has been sought. How much time would it take? Are there long-term measures which the governments are willing to take? We've spoken about the measures, whether it's the entry of trucks, the ban on firecrackers, reducing construction activities, especially during the winter season. But one of the key things that was spoken of at the Supreme Court of India was about the crop cycle and the paddy, the crop paddy, which is used extensively in the state of Punjab, which leads to stubble burning. Now, that change in the crop cycle would require intensive measures to come from the state government, from the central government in a coordinated measure. Whether we are going to see these kind of policy interventions coming in coordination with the governments, with the elected governments who belong to different political parties, is a matter of wait and watch. But as far as the judicial forums are concerned, I believe they have exhausted their limit, their threshold as to what they can do. Elected governments at the end of the day will have to do their job.